Welcome back to Game On, where we use sports and athletics to talk about everything related to mental health. So we are in the first week of August, and we just finished the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. And for those who follow and are interested in baseball, there's really a close tracking up to the deadline of what's happening with different players and different teams, who's predicted to be traded, who's not. In particular, my hometown team, the Chicago Cubs. I was watching. There are certain star players who were predicted that they were going to be traded. They wound up not being traded. And you hear comments from the athletes, leading up to this. They're saying out loud, well, I understand it's a business. I also love this town. And it really got me thinking about a couple of different things. Well, number one is we've talked already about uncertainty and how accepting how little we have in control in our lives. And this is just a reflection of that. We think we're in control where we should be or how valuable we are to a team, and then it can change in a moment. But it also got me thinking about the balance between the business and the passion and loyalty, and how far loyalty should go in anything we do. There could be multiple reasons why we do it. I can work because there's a bottom line. I make money, and there's nothing wrong with acknowledging what we get out of it, even if it's has a selfish component to it. And then there's also just something that drew us to it. I value it. I have a passion for it. It's stimulating for me. And it's important, I think, to give ourselves permission that there's multiple reasons why we do something and what drives us to do it. When I was at this international sports competition for a couple of weeks and got to spend a lot of time with athletes and coaches, one of the questions I kept on asking people was, what drives you to do this? Like, why are you here? And whether they answered it or even I observed it, I was able to tell that in some teams, and this affects team chemistry, some players were very focused on, I'm here to compete, I'm here to perform at a high level, and I'm going to prepare and take it seriously. Others, not so much. I was here to have a good time, have an experience. And, you can ask, is that fair to the rest of their teammates? That's another conversation. So there's multiple levels, and I think it's important for us to acknowledge the multiple reasons why we do something. And I think it's also important to acknowledge for these athletes and everybody else that it's a lot of sting. It's a lot of sting. You can say that it's a business, and I believe them, but also imagine that just as human as the rest of us. And, that hurts a little bit, if I'm just getting traded and feel like I'm just like a pawn that's, being shuffled around. And that's okay. Like, you can acknowledge both of those exist. It stings a little bit. Also reminding myself and giving the context that it's a business. It also raises the question, and maybe you can answer that, is like, how far should loyalty go? So we're talking about sports, but it could be for anything, for work. How far does loyalty go? So if I'm working someplace for a certain amount of time, but then my performance declines, how far should that take me? Is it about the bottom line? Is it about the person? Same thing in a relationship. If I mess up, I'm not talking about hurting someone, but if I mess up, how far does loyalty go? And it's a good question. I don't know if there's a right answer to that, but this being at the trade deadline, and then there's free agents and how much they commit to them or overcommit to them, really raises the question of loyalty. How far do you think loyalty should go? Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. I feel obligated to say that, as everyone does, but it will help us get more exposure. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.